So we've come to this place where the food system we've created, it offers a lot of choices. All right? Now, it's a system we've created around the marketing campaigns and the public policies of big agriculture and large industrial food companies. Now, I'm not the first person to point that out. In fact, it's old news. Okay? And what's sad, okay, is that we've gone to this place where more and more people are choosing prepackaged convenience foods, okay? And those choices, well, they're taking us to a place where we're eating in the car, eating everywhere except around a table, sharing conversation, and sharing ideas with family, friends, and acquaintances. And that's important because, well, it not only feeds us, it connects us in so many ways, okay? Now, I'm going to suggest that you just consider this notion of think like a painter, cook like a chef. Now, I know it sounds a little like oil and water, but I'd like to think more like oil and vinegar because you know what? We can do something with that. All right? We can just add a few more ingredients, a few more ideas, and I think we can come up with something that you can take home today and try in your own kitchen. So how do we think like a painter? Well, when I was a kid, I used to love to buy these paint-by-number kits, just like this one here, with the mountain scene, the blue sky, the clouds, and all those fall colors. Came with a paintbrush, all those paint-by-number buckets, okay? And lots of numbers all over the canvas. Now, did I always paint inside the numbers? Well, not always. I always found myself trying to experiment, create new colors, new shades, tapping into that creative spirit that I know is in all of you. And so, was I thinking like a painter? Maybe. But back then, probably just more like an 8-year-old. Now, this is my friend Emma. Now, she's a painter. In fact, painters, they don't paint by numbers. They choose a subject, and then they match it up to a technique. Now, here she's using oil on canvas, all right? And she's learned, practiced, and mastered that technique, and she's done it over and over. In fact, she's been doing it all summer. And I want to buy that because I love fish. It's my favorite ingredient. I love to cook fish. I love to eat fish, okay? And I think that everyone should have a painting of a fish in their own kitchen. What a great conversation piece. And so, how do we cook like a chef? All right, how do we match these two up? All right. Now, just as painters don't paint by numbers, chefs, they really don't cook with recipes. Okay? You get that? What we do is we choose ingredients, okay? Fresh ingredients. And we buy them in many of the same places that you can too. Farmers markets, roadside stands, even in the grocery store when we're out of something. But often we're trying to buy directly from farmers because you know what? That's best. Because it's exactly what we want and we're creating a relationship with that farmer. Now, techniques, I'm going to focus on just one, all right? We're going to match these up to a cooking technique. And it's a technique that I use at home probably 75% of the time when I cook, all right? And all it takes is a skillet, like this one, with just a small amount of oil. Now, just enough to coat the bottom, encourage a little browning, and then keep things from sticking, all right? And then we're going to need a spoon or a spatula, depending on whether we're stirring or whether we're turning, right? And then we're going to do some seasoning. I like to keep it basic, just salt, pepper, and fresh herbs. Because the ingredients, they will speak for themselves. It doesn't need to be real fancy, all right? And then we're engaging all of our senses at this point. We're looking, we're watching for that visual cue that tells us when to turn and when to stir. We're listening for that sizzle in the pan that tells us the heat is just right. And then we're tasting, we're smelling. Sometimes we're even touching the food because we want to know if it's progressing just the way we want it. And then finally, we're engaging that sixth sense, okay? That intuition, that magical moment when we as chefs, we can just look in the pan and we know that it's done. Now, that's cooking, and no recipe can give you that. And so, think like a painter, cook like a chef. It really is about simple things. It's about a willingness to learn. It's about choosing fresh ingredients and matching them up to a cooking technique that you can learn, practice, and master and do over and over again and create delicious meals. Now, if I can be so bold, I might even suggest that this idea, this way of cooking, enjoying a meal made by the hands of another person, it just may be the most comprehensive human experience that we can enjoy together. Now, I'm going to leave you with one last morsel. I've changed a few of the words, but I think the meaning, it will be clear. Give people a recipe, feed them just one meal. Teach and inspire them how to cook, feed and nourish them for a lifetime. Thank you.